Yeah. Buffalo brother George, how are you?
Good, John. How you doing?
I'm good.
What a game! You ever hear that song? What a game! What a game! What a game! What a mighty good game!
Well, I did not hear that before.
Never
No,
heard it that way,
not
huh?
heard it quite like that. No,
I'll tell you what. That was a heck of a game.
indeed.
Buffalo Bills were versus Washington Commanders, and the Commanders played them tough early, but the Bills, especially the defense, just put them away. Just hung up the phone on them.
Hung up the phone.
Yeah, they were trying to call in and they hung up the phone. What did you think of the game?
I liked it. I thought the defense played really their game of the year.
So do I.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 3 game season, but yeah.
It's going to be a tough one to beat.
Yeah.
They came with 9 sacks. 9 sacks, the
9
Bills.
sacks.
We see that on the season. They had it in the game. They had interceptions. They had fumble recoveries.
Yep.
Their middle linebacker played like his hair was on fire.
Right.
Benford held up on the cornerback position. Trey White made an interception. Holy cow. The defense was just smoking.
Yep. I agree.
Now, on the offensive side of the ball, I thought the Bills still started a little slow. They didn't do what they did the week before, which is take what they were given. We didn't see the tight ends really involved in the game that much, other than blocking. And it was a Gibbs game. Davis was involved, although he made a drop, but he did score a touchdown. I think Josh Allen was like 14 of 24. So not a great statistic, just not bad. It was okay. It was okay. He did throw along a lot, and they weren't making the connections. They were pretty well covered down the field, but they got the job done, especially because the defense dropped a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And although early in the game, the defense did give up some run plays to the Commanders.
Sure.
And they were giving up some pass plays to McLaughlin.
Yeah.
But somehow the defense got their act together and just shut it right down.
Right.
And I have a grade for the Bills this week.
All right. What's your grade?
Well, I'm going to grade them an A minus. And I graded them, I think, the week before an A. But this is a downgrade, even though the defense was up. If I was grading the defense, I'd give them an A, and I'd give the offense a B. So that's why it comes out to an A minus.
Oh, okay. I will. I hear you. I thought the defense gets an A this week.
Mm-hmm.
They get an A. Wasn't really much more they could do. They even scored. Right? They got 6.
Right. The only thing I would question is that they're still giving up some grounds on the yards on the ground game at times, and so they've got to nip that in the butt.
Yeah. As the game would go on, the score would begin to get out of reach, and Washington really wasn't in a position to run like that. So, and the Bills were in a position to be more concerned with stopping the quick score than if you want to take time on your drive. And time was on their side.
We recognized during the training camp that Poona Ford was the best run stopper, we thought, but he didn't dress. The coach said he didn't dress him because they felt they needed to have an additional defensive end because Leonard Floyd had been nursing an injury. But it turns out Leonard Floyd played. He played well. They probably didn't need that additional defensive end, and they could have used Poona Ford on the offensive line. I'm sorry, on the defensive line to stop the run. But, he made the choice, and they came through.
Yeah, I hear you, and I'm sure that the coach would never mislead anyone.
No.
And the thing is, Poona was dressed for the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm. You didn't see a lot of action.
Much action. Yeah. No. Even against the Jets, going into the game, you were kind of expected. Well, you thought you were going to have Aaron Rodgers, but you also thought that they would try to establish a running attack because Brees Hall, and then they got Cook.
And they did. Brees Hall had a good game.
After Aaron Rodgers goes out, you think they're really going to depend even more on that running attack. So why Poona Ford wouldn't be part of the mix there, or wouldn't be a bigger part of the mix if we're right and he's a really good run defender? I don't know, but it can't be too much of a surprise that they would not dress him because they're barely playing him.
Yeah, these are things that we're not privy to.
Right.
We're not part of the news media. We don't hear any chatter anywhere. We're just a couple of guys that watch the TV and we like to talk about it. And so we're giving you the best information we got. I tell you, if you got to say something on the defense, you got to say to yourself, where the heck is Kyrie Elam?
Well, you brought something up there. We're not part of the news media. We're not part of news media at all. Mm-hmm. We're certainly not part of news media in Buffalo.
Right.
And there are times when you get the feeling that the news media are more concerned about not burning bridges than they are business.
Right.
And the reason why I'm saying that is nobody's asking McDermott, hey, you were giving up runs in huge chunks against the Jets. Brees Hall had those huge games. Why isn't Poona Ford in the game?
Yeah.
And nobody's asking them straight up, are you shopping Elam? Like, what's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah. Is he in the doghouse? Can he not get on the field because of what happened in training camp and whatever this is something that you had brought up, I think last week. Mm-hmm. Nobody's asking the tough questions.
We're not hearing anybody in the media asking, where's Elam? They're just totally ignoring it, or they may know something we don't and have been told not to ask about it. I don't know.
So we have a magnifying glass. This week we will be watching the game using this to find Elam.
To find Elam. If anybody finds Elam before us,
you let us know,
will you? Because where the heck is Kyrie Elam? You're going to play the Miami Dolphins with Hill and Waddle, and you don't have the number 1 draft pick that you got, 2 years ago or last year?
It was future shutdown corner.
Your future shutdown corner. He's shut out corner.
Yeah.
He's a future shutout corner.
Future shutout corner.
Come on, Kyrie, whatever's going on, clear it up and get back on the field.
I can understand, or I can make a guess, if you will, that obviously Elam isn't going to take Trey White's spot.
No.
And Christian Benford clearly won. Like, I say clearly based on the results. He is out there. He is starting.
Yes.
He's playing the snaps. He's the cornerback opposite of White. And I could understand, like, okay, if you're only going to dress one more, maybe you dress Dane because he's got a lot of experience, and you trust that experience. If you have to use him for a quick get out there because somebody needs winded, he could do that. If you have to use him for an extended period of time, he could play all your different zones and stuff. I get that. So it may not be that Elam didn't beat out Dane for the backup role as much as if you're only going to bring one in, you want the guy who has a lot of experience in your system and can do any of the roles. Well, I could understand that a bit. You don't want to be in a situation where Benford's out and you're looking at you put in Elam, but you want to play man-to-man on one side and zone on the other side, and you look at Trey White and say you're the one that's got to play the zone because Elam really isn't good at that.
You remember playing hide and seek?
Yeah.
Come on, wherever you are, Elam, ollie, out and free. Come on. Where the heck are you? I like Benford, but I don't have the confidence that he's going to shut down Hill or Waddle. And that's what you got a guy like Kyrie Elam for. And if they think that Kyrie is not the guy, then do something with him now. So maybe you can get something in return. Maybe we can get a tackle.
Maybe they can get a 7th round draft pick.
Maybe they can get a 7th round.
Boogie Basherman.
Anything at this point, I know that sounds ridiculous, but all he's doing is sitting on a bench somewhere. Well, he's not even wearing a uniform.
If it's a thing where all they're going to get is a 6th or 7th, then they could wait till the trade deadline, just to ensure that they don't have an injury back there. Like, they ran out of safeties last year, that kind of deal. So I get it, and we might see something happen that last week before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
All right, I never gave a grade. I would give the offense a solid B as well. I thought you and I would have different grades because we were looking at it differently. During the first half, when the Bills offense would score, they would move the ball down the field, they'd get into the red zone, and then they didn't score a touchdown, and they were settling for field goals, or they got stalled.
That's right.
Maybe they didn't get to the red zone, they were settling for field goals. That can be frustrating because you really feel like when you have the momentum, you've got to score, put a team away. You don't at the halftime, it was a 2-score game.
Yeah.
But the Bills had looked like the better team, and you couldn't help but be a little concerned that Washington would make a comeback at home.
That's how I thought at that time. I said they were up 16-0 because Washington had elected not to kick a field goal. At 4th down inside the 5, they went for it and were stopped by the Bills, or it would have been 10-3 at that time. It went on to become 16-0, but that's still 2 scores, 2 8-pointers. And you kept feeling like, is this like the Jets game? Are they leaving them in the game?
Right.
Is the offense, because it's 0, the defense done their job, are they leaving them in the game? And then the second half came out, and the defense just turned on the Jets. They just took that Howell, Washington quarterback, to the woodshed. They sacked him in the game 9 times. 9 times.
Yeah.
The Bills don't sack 9 times in a season. Here they sacked 9 times in a game, and they had fumbles and interceptions and all kinds of. They won this game for the Bills. They put the offense in position to put it away, and the Bills did. They went on and scored 37 points or something.
Yeah. I was just saying that when an offense when our offense does have to settle for a field goal, I just feel when we're watching the games, I feel like you hold it against them a little more than I do.
Yeah.
I see that as a little more of a positive than maybe you do. But we ended up with the same grade. We ended up in the same spot.
Yeah.
Which is I thought was going to be.
We saw it a little different, but graded it the same. And all right, so now we're 2-1. We're in second place in the division, 1 game behind Miami. And if we win this week, we take the lead in the division. If we lose, we have the potential to be in last place.
The potential is there, but luckily both the Jets and the Dolphins.
The Jets would have to win this week,
and I don't think it's going to happen. Very good. So
yeah.
there's a good chance we wouldn't be, but I hear you.
At the best they'd be in 3rd place if they lost.
It's only the 4th game, and it's way too early to be talking about playoffs.
Well, right? I don't want to go 2 games behind Miami.
That is
because they'd be a game up. Miami would be a game ahead. No, they'd be 4-0. The Bills would be 2-2. Plus, they'd have the tiebreaker against the Bills.
Yeah,
it's too much. This is a game. The Bills have to go for the win.
Really, you would if it's too early, but the Bills would be in a situation where not only would they have to put together a nice little win streak, they would need help from others, right? They would, even though they have to play Miami one more time, that wouldn't be enough. They would have to have help. And you hate to be in that situation this early in the season.
When the Jets got Aaron Rodgers, they crowned them Super Bowl champions without even the season starting. And now that's all over. And now Miami is 3-0 and scored 70 points. And basically they're saying that they're by far the best team in the AFC. And maybe they're competitive. Maybe they're not with San Francisco or the Eagles, but they're definitely the best team in the AFC. And I think they're a good team in the AFC, but do I think they're the best team in the AFC?
The Dolphins?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you?
No.
Okay. I didn't think you were going to.
I think they're a good team, and I really do. They've got all kinds of weapons on offense, but I don't think they have the defense to take the trophy on home. I really don't. And by trophy, I'm talking Super Bowl trophy. Could they win the division? Yes, unless the Bills' offense starts to it plays like they did against the Raiders, taking what they're given, keeping the ball away from the other team's offense. The Bills have to do that. The Bills have found a run game. Cook had a 100 and some odd yard game 2 weeks ago, and last week he had 97 yards or 98 yards. We found a run game. So that's all good. But we still have to have a more consistent performance from Gabe Davis. And we got to go back to making sure we're spreading this balls around to the tight ends and keeping them in the mix and making teams worry about more than just Stephon Diggs. Now, I know they played a lot this week, but maybe they were just blocking all the time and trying to keep protection for Josh Allen. If that's the case, then we're going to have to find a way to find a tackle. But I do think the Bills have the defense that can win it and an offense that's good enough to get there. And the Dolphins have an offense that's good enough to win it, but I don't think they have the defense that's good enough to get there.
All right. Well, I tell you what, the Dolphins play. We didn't know how bad the Denver was. Like when we heard about, Washington had this big comeback, and could they, it's halftime, could they have another big comeback? Coming out of the halftime break, the announcers are talking about, we're watching the regular network, the announcers are talking about, hey, Washington had a big comeback last week, they could do it again. And we thought maybe that was true. We did not realize how good Denver was. We didn't know that they helped. They almost certainly helped with that comeback. And I'm not taking anything away from Miami. They put up 70 points. But I thought the Raiders were the worst team in the league, and now I think it's the Broncos.
Yeah, now I think it's the Broncos, yeah. But what do you think about Miami's offense and their defense?
I really like Miami's offense. They have found a way to run the ball well.
Yeah, they run the ball.
Now, the Bills they ran well against the Raiders. They had some nice run plays, and they were somewhat consistent with their runs against the Redskins. But with the the Commanders, it became pretty apparent that the Bills are a team. Still, they're going to use the pass.
The pass first. And then the run. Don't you think they use the run to wear down the clock?
No. I think they use the run once they get the opposing defense into their 4-down-7 defensive back look, the 5 and 6. That's when they want to run, because they want to run against weak fronts.
Okay.
They're not as much as we enjoy Harris and Murray having a little power. They are really not a power running team, and they're not gonna. Wow, I don't know what's with the flickers there.
Well, we had a rainstorm here, so maybe
that's
there's something
going on. They're not a power running team, and they are still a pass first team. And I think this game was kind of indicated that was also part of the reason that they stalled out in the beginning. I thought in the beginning of the game, it was Washington had some nice pass defense plays, and the Bills' running game hadn't really clicked in yet. They weren't even necessarily utilizing it. But they did before the half was over. They really became a bit more balanced. I was happy with that. I would like to see Allen be a bit more, I would like his accuracy to go up. We saw another play today in that game where it really looked like it was 3rd and long, and he threw a pass. It didn't get intercepted, but it was effectively a punt.
Right.
Or actually, maybe it did get intercepted. It was really effectively, it was a punt.
The one that bothered me was it was 3rd and a half a yard, and they decided they need to throw the ball instead of running it or even doing a tush push with Allen. They decided to go in a shotgun, the Bills, and have Allen try and throw for a first down on a 3rd and a half a yard. And of course, the ball got batted down.
Yeah. And I hear you. And the only thing I would say is before the season started, we've seen them do that for 5 years.
Yeah, right.
So this year we saw Harris, we saw Murray, we saw Torrance come in, we saw them go out and get McGovern, and we thought things might be a little different. We saw them have, Cook had 17 rushes for 100 and some yards against the Raiders. And we thought, gee, maybe they will utilize their running game a bit more. And they're still a team that wants to pass the ball, etc.
You know, I could understand, and I certainly would appreciate if an offense wants to do something a little surprising and keep the defense off balance. But the line up in shotgun on 3rd and a half a yard, that's a 1.5 feet, 18 inches. To line up on 3rd and 18 inches and decide we need to pass this to get a first down is the craziest thing I ever heard.
You know,
they went for it on 2nd down. It was 3 yards, and they got it to the half-yard line, and then they decided, no, we need to. We can't get a first down unless we throw the ball.
So there's multiple kinds of toughness.
Mm-hmm.
And the toughness that you and I might have been looking for, and I think you for sure were looking for, was we need a yard or half a yard. We're going to line up, and we're going to let you know we're running the ball, and we're going to run the ball down your throat.
Right, down your throat.
And we saw Murray come in, and the guys they talked about, we saw them come in. But the Bills, I think that they think that they are mentally tough. And what I mean by that is we pass better than we run. We need a yard. We're going to pass for it. We're going to pass for it. We are going to pass for it. And we're going to pass and we're going to get it. And that's more of a mental toughness where you don't care that they know what you're doing. You're going to do it anyway.
See,
and
I could see
it didn't
that.
pull it off.
I could see that on 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3. But to do it on 3rd and a half a yard, I think it's just stupid. Well, to be honest, I think I don't know what Dorsey's thinking, or if he was out, he had to go to the bathroom at that moment. Somebody else was calling a play. But that's the craziest thing I ever saw.
3rd and 2 and third in today's NFL, I would beg to say that more than half of the teams look at 3rd and 2 as a passing down in this league now. I would say that there's only a handful of teams that look at 3rd and 2 as a running down anymore. They're not built for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't. First of all, they don't go out and get first round draft picks for running backs, and they don't pay them, and they don't want to get offensive linemen who are really good at run blocking, and even if it costs them some pass blocking reps, they will always take the pass blocker first.
Yeah.
Well, and this is what you end up with. Defenses have countered with, like, the Bills play a light front seven. They don't. Taron Johnson becomes a pseudo safety and slot corner. Anyway,
I'm harping on this one play, and the Bills did a great job.
It was an odd call.
So I should not harp on it, but to me, it's just one of those things for the overall mental awareness of the coaching staff that, is what are you thinking? It's not time. It's just time to go get the first down.
You would think.
It's not time to start, deciding that we're going to play this way or that. It's just crazy. Just go get the first down, lock it up, and then you want to do a gadget play or something, go ahead. But just smart play versus what the hell are you thinking?
And this wasn't a Josh Allen smart.
No.
This was really this was the play call.
That was the play call.
They lined up that way. All right.
So what do you say? Show the people how you feel about this game. Show them your shirt.
Yes. So I have an original Squish the Fish shirt. I'm trying to get in view. I'm going to get in front of you. Here we go. Squish the Fish. This shirt is, I think this shirt is over 30 years old. I pulled this bad boy out of the closet. It's still in pretty good shape. It seems to have shrunk a little.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how that happened.
How could that happen?
It shrunk a little around the waist. I don't know. But,
that's something about with mine, too. Every time I take them out of the closet,
I don't know what happened.
I see a different size label in the neck.
But
I don't know who's switching the size label.
I put this on for this. I don't know if I'll wear it during the game because, quite frankly, it's not that comfortable. Well, it's a little tight now.
I think the Bills' offense is good enough to keep up with the Miami offense, as long as the Miami offense is facing a team as strong as the Bills defense. I don't think the Dolphins defense is strong enough to hold down the Bills offense. And I am picking the Bills to win this game. I think we're going to see him throwing the ball around. I think he's going to get his tight ends involved again. And I think you're going to see a little bit more ball control. And maybe we'll have the ball more minutes than the Dolphins and keep them on the bench a little bit longer. And I think the Bills are going to be able to squeak this one out at home.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, before I do, what's your score?
I'm thinking 34-28 Bills.
Okay. And then I don't. So that 34-28. So they cover the spread.
Mm-hmm.
34-28. What's that total? 34. It's
that's 62.
All right, so that's over.
That's over.
Okay.
The over and under is what, 53.5. So I got it going over.
All right, let me ask you this.
And the Bills are 2.5 point favorites, so they covered the spread.
I think if I were to ask you which defense you like better, I think you just answer it. The Bills defense.
The Bills defense.
Which offense do you like better?
I like the Dolphins offense.
And you know that Waddle, presumably Waddle's going to play because it was, and he was out of the game due to a concussion, which means that there's no reason if he's able to play, there's no reason he wouldn't be 100%. It's not like he's going to be nursing an injury. You don't nurse your head, so he'll be at full strength. And you said straight up you like the Miami offense better.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like the Bills offense better if it had Tua as their quarterback?
No.
Would you like? Okay, that's fine.
I would like Waddle as a second receiver.
That's what I was doing. And if there were two Waddles and they each had that, would it just be close, or would you favor the Waddle?
I'd probably favor the Bills because I think Diggs is that good. Hill is a good receiver, but I don't think he runs the routes that Diggs does.
Yeah,
Hill is fast.
I don't know. I haven't done any kind of real review. When I've watched Hill play, it's been reviewing how he's torched the Bills.
Well, yeah.
Right, so
you're watching Mahomes get him the ball,
right?
And then his speed was his weapon. Where Diggs, it's his route running that is his weapon, and that's why I like Diggs better. But that's just me. Period.
The one thing about both of them, they catch the ball.
Yeah. But when I say I like the Dolphins offense better, they're also going to go against a much better defense. They're going to go against the Bills defense. And I think the Bills offense against the Miami defense is a much bigger spread with the Bills able to win the day.
Okay.
I'm saying that Miami's going to score 4 touchdowns. But I got the Bills at 34 points. I got them at, how do you get there? It's like 24. That's 4 scores. 24 and 7 is 31. That's 5 scores. And 34, that makes it 6 scores. So 6 times I got the Bills scoring to Miami 4.
Right.
And so that's how I got the 34-28. I got the Bills scoring 6 times against the Miami.
I noticed you never count the Bills scoring a field goal.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, look. You got 21 is 3.
Right?
24 makes 4. 21 is 3.
I'm with you. So
24 makes
it
it a 4.
Right?
Another touchdown makes it 31.
All right.
And another field goal makes it 34. So it's 2 field goals.
I think we've got to lose wire somewhere because I can't just lose a lot.
All right.
Well, we got to wrap this up here anyway. So I want to get a score right at the top. I will pick the Bills. 24-21. Your microphone has changed. Thanks. All right. Well, we're not even sure if anybody can see us. Hopefully, you can still hear us.
Somebody can see us, yeah. If so, then that's our score. And we both picking the Bills and enjoy the game.
Enjoy the game, everyone.
Go Bills!
Go Bills.